everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Ali Quorum and Ken Shreve here with a breakdown of the action in today's session, where we saw a strong bounce across the board today, Ken. And we'll have you unmute.
Yeah, I'm okay.
There
I'm here.
he is.
I'm here. I'm definitely here. Just had to unmute myself and couldn't find it. But yeah, so just a really bullish gains on IBD Live this morning. We're talking about, well, is this going to be another strong open and a weak close, which is what we've been seeing and sort of a hallmark of bear markets. But we kind of strengthened as the session wore on. It doesn't look like we're going to get the volume here. Volume, at least preliminary, looks like it's going to be lower than Monday, but we found three interesting stocks to talk about, like we always do.
Yes,
take a look
we
at
did.
CVS, Steel Dynamics, STLD, and GlobalFoundries, GFS, and ticker symbol for CVS, of course, is CVS. So we'll take a look at those three.
Fantastic. Well, first, let's break down the action in the major indexes today. Strong gains across the board. The NASDAQ up about 2.9%. We had the S&P 500 up 2.1%. And the Dow up about, let's see here, 1.8% on the day. And a significant move yesterday for the NASDAQ with that undercut and close below the late February low. So a bounce at this level, perhaps not all too unexpected. But I guess the question now is, Ken, are we going to see a tradable rally from here?
Well, I think it's probably still too early to tell. Again, there wasn't much volume behind the gains today. We did see a lot of good action in individual stocks, so it's not a completely terrible picture out there. But so we're just going to still need the Nasdaq. Still needs to prove itself more. One day of gains after a rough couple of sessions. Good to see, but the index still needs to prove itself. It undercut those lows, so it's the first day of a rally attempt. So we're going to look for continued strength down the line for the NASDAQ. It's still down below key moving averages, so a lot of overhead supply to work through. But, still keeping an eye on our growth screens to look for stocks that could take advantage of a new uptrend. And, we could get one sooner rather than later, but market still needs to prove itself.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. The trend here clearly overall is lower. We have had a couple of small tradable rallies within the context of this downtrend. But even if we do get a couple days or a couple of weeks of a move from here to the upside, Ken, it seems like investors should be still playing things pretty close to the vest, focusing on those leading groups, those spot on entries, and taking profits when the getting's good.
Yeah, if you're gonna buy stocks, nothing wrong with taking a gain and having a trading mentality in this type of market. The bottom line is that the Nasdaq and the S&P and the Dow and all the major stock indexes are still in technical downtrends, and for that reason alone, it's just a risky environment making money in stocks. So if you get gains and you don't take profits, a lot of times it's just going to go right back to zero or maybe turn negative on you. So in a market where we're still seeing signs of institutional selling and not that much in the way of institutional buying, if you're going to be buying stocks, taking gains when you have them and having a shorter term view is the way to make money in this market.
Absolutely. Well, let's also take a look at the S&P 500 because a bit of divergence here, because we saw the NASDAQ undercut its late February low. The S&P 500 did not. However, it is still stuck below that 10-day moving average and a bit of space until it gets to its 21-day line as well, just like the NASDAQ.
Yeah, stuck below the 10 days, stuck below the 21 days, stuck below the converged 50 and 200 days. So it's gonna take significant strength and significant gains from the S&P 500 from here to truly break out of its downtrend. And again, until we see a legitimate sign of strength, and preferably all three of the major stock indexes, like today, with some volume behind the move, which shows conviction, then we can start getting a little more optimistic about things. For now, we know where the bull markets are. Energy stocks under a ton of pressure today, so a lot of those were looking great. Not so good. Fertilizer stocks bounce back. So agriculture, chemicals. We know where the money is flowing, but heavy risk is still out there.
That's right. Okay, let's also just take a quick look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, getting pretty close to its 21-day. Who knows? Maybe we'll see resistance there, but clearing that level would definitely be a step in the right direction. And a quick look at the 10-year yield continuing to skyrocket. So the trend is definitely higher here, Ken, for that 10-year yield. And just another factor of what we've been looking at in terms of something that is hurting the appetite for growth stocks by and large.
Yes, and it was kind of sort of ironic to see the big gains today because the 10-year yield tried to go down for a little while, but it reversed, and as you can see here, it turned higher. So another jump in the 10-year Treasury yield didn't have much effect on the stock indexes today, and particularly the Nasdaq. So, of course, the Fed meeting started today. The decision on interest rates will be out tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Quarter point hike is widely expected, but the market's focus not only remains on the Fed, but on this 10-year yield, which certainly is flagging higher interest rates down the line, higher interest rate hikes and more rate hikes by the Fed.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that develops this week, and our coverage will keep everyone up to date on all of that. But even though there is all of this uncertainty, we are continuing to keep our watch lists fresh, including with the likes of CVS Health, with a gain of 2.4% today, as it's been pulling back to this 50-day line. It did spend a little time underneath that level, but was able to find support around the 100 level. It has, been on our list of stocks to watch for a potential entry as it rebounds, and it looks like we got that today, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, I think the stock was actionable today, especially as it moved above that recent high. Problem here, just like with the broad market, you didn't have any volume in CVS today, and you can see a lot of recent gains have been in light volume, but its price action today was pretty bullish. Again, the fact that it moved above that recent high that you annotated there is very positive, and it's still working on a nice base here. You can look at the weekly chart and see a nice flat base forming. This company is a lot more than just a drugstore operator, pharmacy, and a place where you can buy odds and ends. It's they closed their acquisition of Aetna back in 2018. $70 billion they paid, but it really is going to transform this company into a full service health services company. So definitely has that new going on that we like to see, and I think this acquisition of Aetna could help this stock going forward, and keeping an eye on it for an upside breakout here.
Yeah, and due to the personality of this stock, since 2021, especially with this uptrend, it likes to hug that 10-week line. So looking for an early entry with the stock gaining some strength, but still right around that level seems like an optimal time to at least start initiating a position and then build on it after a breakout, because it likes to pull back. So if you're waiting until the breakout for this one, you could get shaken out if it decides to pull back again.
That's an excellent point. And again, I just want to underscore the new that is going on here. Usually, companies can start new uptrends and continue to outperform the market when they have something new going on that's driving earnings and sales growth. And for a company as big as CVS Health, you can see it's still churning out pretty good top line growth, and a lot of expectations again that the acquisition of Aetna is going to hopefully help this stock outperform going forward.
All right, well, it's one to watch. Let's also check in on Steel Dynamics. Steel stocks have made quite a run in recent weeks. Took a little pause last week, but we did see a bounce off of the 21-day line today for Steel Dynamics with a gain of about 2.3%. But as you've pointed out, Ken, it's lacking volume today on this move.
Yeah, lacking volume, but I like charts like this where you get a strong breakout and then you get just just a nice retest of a prior buy area, and that's exactly what's happening with Steel Dynamics right now. Another stock that got some attention on IBD Live this morning. To me, the stock still looks actionable here, and I say that when I look at the weekly chart. I mean, even looking at the daily, it doesn't look too extended after support at the 21-day line. But you can see here, it's still in the early stages of breaking out of a pretty lengthy consolidation here. Good accumulation as the stock started to rise and eventually break out, and now you've got a nice orderly pullback. Doesn't look like an extended stock to me. It's got a good relative strength line, and these steel producers and metals plays still could be a good area of the market to be in. I think STLD still looks pretty good technically.
Yeah, so Ken, if investors aren't buying the early entries, so like with this downtrend line, which we were talking about in real time with STLD, if you miss that, it seems like, again, you don't want to be going right for that breakout. Give it a little time to settle down, come back in, retest the buy zone itself, or trade tightly. Maybe there's a 3 weeks tight or shelf, but look for something else for it to settle down after the strong gains in a couple of weeks like you had for Steel Dynamics.
Yeah, exactly right. If you missed the early the trend line breakout, then you say, okay, well maybe it's going to give me another opportunity to buy, and I think that opportunity is right now in light of today's price action. Swing back to the daily chart here, and you can see. I mean, there was some volume behind the stock's latest pullback. Typically, when a stock breaks out in heavy volume, you like to see a pullback in light volume, and I mean, really, the down days actually do look like volume is pretty light. There was one, maybe two above average volume declines there, but overall, a fairly orderly pullback to the 21-day moving average, and a nice, really looks like an outside day for an update today. Even though volume wasn't there, I think it still looks good.
Yeah, well, let's see if it can continue to hold support at that 21-day line. And last but not least, let's take a look at GFS GlobalFoundries. This is kind of a blast from the past, being last fall, right when it came out. It sort of went off the radar in months since until now. A pretty compelling move of almost 13% today. This one did have volume behind it, a lot of blue volume spikes down there on the chart, Ken.
Yes, indeed, and that's exactly what a stock under accumulation looks like. And the reason I wanted to talk about GlobalFoundries today, not only because of the big percentage gain, but because you were kind of pounding the table on it in the Q&A this morning on
Oh, I
IBD
don't know
Live.
about that.
Yeah, well, no, I said, well, Ali's got a good one here. So of course we talked about it, but I think it's a good stock to talk about because it's a new issue. When the market is groping for a bottom here, and we're looking for a follow-through day and looking for a confirmed uptrend, we know that stocks breaking out of early stage bases can be, some of the biggest winners. So in anticipation of that, why not have, a watch list of stocks in early stage bases? So GlobalFoundries, a nice breakout over a trend line today. We swing over to the weekly chart, see it's a new issue. My colleague, or our colleague Chris Gessel, noted that this is a stock that did correct pretty sharply after the IPO and actually undercut the IPO price, which isn't good to see. But again, it's showing some signs of accumulation as it works its way higher here. And in the technology sector, this is a first stage base that's taking shape, and I'm going to watch it further, because if it keeps moving higher, and even though we got an early entry today, keeps moving higher and approaches that left side high, maybe it'll form a little handle, and we get a good first stage cup with handle breakout.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of questions on this one this morning. Thought the price gain was pretty notable. I mean, if this was one that you didn't already have on your watch list with an alert at that trend line set, it became quickly extended. And I'm with you, Ken. I would love to see more price progress and then some tighter action, whether that's a handle, a little pullback. Let's see if that 50-day line can start turning higher. But one to watch.
Yeah, it's got a great, you can look at recent earnings and sales growth, outstanding, just what we want to see. It's got a big estimate for its fiscal year. I think that's 2023, which looks good. The one caveat and the one maybe yellow flag for me is, and we talk about this a lot, stocks that tend to trade in wide intraday swings. GlobalFoundries tends to tends to be a volatile stock. So, weekly chart smooths things out a little bit, but nonetheless, I think there's enough about this company that's compelling enough to put it on the watch list. And if we do eventually go into a confirmed uptrend in the major stock indexes, I could see this one easily being a new leader.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because we definitely want those semis to participate in the next rally, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So, all right. Thank you so much, Ken. And thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back with more tomorrow morning on IEBD Live. So we definitely hope you join us. Investors.com/IEBD Live for all the details on our daily morning live stream. We will see you right back here tomorrow afternoon as well.